TV, you are an entrepreneur or business person who's watching this, and you must have made decisions in your business, which is a valid statement. But do you know that you had 3 brains? Which is a valid statement again. But have you actually worked out why we always say follow your heart or follow your gut? So we've got Vida Carlino with us from Inspiration Source. So Vida's going to tell us why we've got 3 brains and what are the 3 brains that we've got in our body. And Vida basically helps people make simple shifts in the business and to themselves to make the biggest impact. And the business is not just a business, but it's more of a conscious business. So Vida, welcome. I'm really excited to talk to you, and I'm fascinated with the 3 brains. Tell us all about it, if you can.
Thank you, Zishan. It's a pleasure to be here. Well, neuroscience has caught up with what many ancient traditions have been saying for many years, is that we actually have 3 levels of intellect. We have a brain that we're all aware of, we have our heart brain and our gut brain, and each of these function as a brain. 3 brains are really important in our decision making and how we function in our business. You know, for many, through history, ancient traditions have talked about the power of brains, and it's only recently that neuroscience has caught up and proven what ancient traditions have known for a very long time. We have our head brain, which we're all aware of, our cognitive thinking, our logic, our reasoning, our making meaning out of our life. And we have our heart brain, which is related to our love, our connection, relationships, our purpose, desire, values. And we have a gut brain, which is our core identity, it's our self-preservation, it's our courage, it's our action. And when these 3 brains are in alignment, we are in our optimum state for making decisions. And when they're not, we're not in such a good state.
Well, so we're sometimes lucky for a person to have 1 brain, but we're talking about 3. So the head is using the creative side of things?
Yeah, the head is its optimum state, is creativity, because it's merging the left and right brains together. Yeah. We're accessing both through the head.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
And the heart, why do you consider that a brain more than...
Because a heart has the same functions as a brain. You know, it has a memory, it has complex neural pathways that relate and communicate just like a brain does. So it's not as big a brain, but it still functions the same as a brain.
Yeah.
And the properties of the heart is, relationship, love, connection, compassion.
Yeah,
yeah.
And the gut?
Exactly the same. It functions as a brain, but it has a different sort of capacity and not so many neurons in the gut. And there is so much research going on now about the gut intelligence and how our health depends on the health of our gut.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So you mentioned earlier, we don't pay attention to, we do pay a lot of attention to gymming or exercise and that for health reasons. Same for the eating part of it. We eat healthy, but we don't actually sit down and have alignment happening for our business.
Exactly, like we will spend so much time exercising, we'll spend so much time making sure we can buy the organic food or get the right food to look after our bodies. We spend time planning our business, strategizing for our business, doing research. Well, hopefully we do that.
Yeah. At some point.
Yeah, at some point. And we go into business because we have some sort of passion or desire or something that we think is valuable to offer to the world. Yet we spend very little time aligning ourselves, making sure that all our intelligences are working in an optimum state so that we can make decisions.
Yeah.
The decisions that are conscious and incorporate all our intelligences, not just a little one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just touching on the 3 brains again. So decisions made mainly just from the head are not right because you're not bringing passion into it and the courage into it.
Yeah. So, say for example, let me think. Oh yeah, say Jules, for example. Yeah. So Jules is a real intellectual. She's great at her job. She's really great at finding opportunities. She's awesome at creating profit and products and strategy and getting things done. Except nobody likes her. She has no friends, the teams don't really want to work with her. And instead of realizing that, oh my God, my heart is out of whack, I'm not actually connecting with people, I'm not actually using that, compassionate relationship side of myself, she rationalizes the way that she is and continues down the same path. But what the people around her in her team or in the office do is they start to move away from her, and she's missing out on all that intelligence from people and relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So when you're starting a business,
Yeah.
so you're really excited and you're passionate about it, and so what is the decision-making process that's optimum in the case of either starting a business or expanding, or you putting on your new employee, or whatever the decision you're making? So what's the best optimum way of doing it?
The optimum way is to have access all your intelligences, not just one intelligence. So you have this passion and desire and drive, but if you don't have strategy and research and methodology with it, it just stays passion, and you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. Yeah. If you have a lot of action which sits in your gut along with that passion, then you run out on that passion, and then you run off on the next passion and the next passion, and they may not work because there's no strategy, and it's unlikely that it will come together without some strategy to bring all the bits together. So it's when we have alignment of the three intelligences that we sort of are authentic in ourselves. We know who we are, we know what we're good at, we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, and we can take in the awareness of everything around us, and not just by one intelligence. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that there's particular steps or a strategy to sometimes you can follow to make the right decision.
Absolutely.
So obviously you run a lot of retreats on self-empowerment and leadership and various other things. Yeah. So and you work with entrepreneurs, business people, the corporate world as well in helping them stuff. Yes. So what steps would they need to follow? Generally speaking, because you did mention breathing part of it was very important, and 45 seconds. Yeah,
so I mean, for each individual, the alignment that the issues they need to deal with for the alignment can be quite different. So always, you can search out an M-braining consultant or myself and do some more work on that if you feel like you need extra work on it. But the first thing to do in any situation is just to pause for a moment. Like, we move at such a fast pace. Our brain has 60 to 1,000 thoughts a day. Most of those thoughts are the same thoughts we had yesterday, so it's no wonder we're on this constant move. But just, you notice, if you just stop for a moment, just take a conscious pause, even just for 45 seconds, instantly you notice that your body slows down, your energy slows down, and it creates a gap so that the intelligences can start to listen, because they all don't communicate in the same way. They don't all communicate through language. Yeah. It's through feeling as well, and through sensing, and through language that we communicate. But if we're moving too fast, we can't sense that our gut is telling us something. We can't sense that our emotions are out of whack.
Yeah. So how about this? I mean, if you're watching this, make sure that you put your contact details below. You put your email address and your name. And Vida, you're okay to send them a free report on the steps to make the right decision, an optimum decision?
Absolutely.
Using alignment?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm sure there's the steps that you've got that you can send them.
I can. And it's like, I really believe and very passionate about simple, easy tools, as you mentioned before. This is a simple, easy tool just to get you back in the state where you can access and operate at your optimum state, not just for your business, but for you as well as a person.
So to optimum stage involves your emotions, intuitive, and your the mental state of mind as well.
Yeah, absolutely, because your intuition sits more in your gut. Even though each intelligence has its own unique intuition, it's like, we often say, I feel it in my gut. I've got this sense in my gut. So that's where your intuition sits. But unless you're aligned, it's very hard to know whether it's your intuition or you just got hunger pains or it's something else. If you're out of line, you get mixed messages.
Yes, true.
True.
So I've often heard people say, do you have the guts to do it?
Yeah, exactly, because action sits in the gut.
Yeah.
So courage and action sits in the gut.
This is something that's been used in a very colloquial way.
Yeah.
We probably don't even think about what we're saying sometimes. Do you have the guts to do that? Or do you have guts to start a business? Because it actually takes a lot of guts to start a business.
It does.
So where, how long ago did this start, you think? Like taking... and why do you use this colloquially and not think about it?
You know, I don't really know when it started, but I just sort of think it's always been there. Somehow we know it. Like there's another innate wisdom around us. And when we align the three intelligence, we have a wisdom that's greater than each one individually.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I remember some of the sayings my mum used to say,
Yeah.
or my grandmother used to say. And they fit into this alignment of the three brains.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it started, but I think somehow we know.
Yeah.
We
And
just know.
you've written books and you've written papers, you've contributed to the magazines and whatnot.
Yeah.
So what's the book that you're working on now?
I have,
There's always a book you're working on.
yeah, there is another book I'm working on, but it's just taking shape at the moment. So when I wrote my power statement book, I had been collecting stuff, journalising stuff for quite some time in the old-fashioned pen and paper, because I find that more creative for me. And I'm doing that again.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe in another 6 months will be time to put all that into form.
Right, okay,
But
so you're not ready to give that away just yet,
not
I understand.
yet, no, definitely.
So what's the latest book that you released in that case?
My latest book is my power statement.
The power statement.
So, yeah,
What's
which is
that about?
well, it's a simple tool to which really fits in with that aligning the three brains.
Yeah.
It's a very simple tool for transformation, and what it does is it asks you to step into a different identity, right, and feel, think, and act as that identity would do.
Yeah.
So what often happens if we say to ourselves, okay, well, be more confident.
Yeah.
Like, say, during this interview, be really confident you're going for an interview, right? That can be really challenging to do.
Yeah.
But if I say, how would Zishan feel, think, and act in this interview, then I do that. So I would think something like, well, he'd probably be pretty relaxed.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I be relaxed? He'd probably be very confident about what he's saying.
Yeah.
He'd probably think this is a piece of cake. Well, then I do that. So it's
Enjoy
a way,
it,
so it's a way of tricking, sort of bypassing your resistances in your mind and stepping into a high potential.
Can you still be yourself though? If you're thinking and feeling and acting like someone else in a way, can you still be yourself, or are you being the other person?
No, you're being yourself. Because how you feel,
Yeah.
think and act, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's
But you're
my
just thinking.
perception
Yeah.
of what I think you are like. And it's my perception because that's how I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether I'm using it or not. But
Yeah.
we can't actually know what's going on for anybody else.
True.
When I was writing the book, I used to use Richard Branson all the time.
Yeah.
When I had thoughts of like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I don't have the right to write a book, I'm not good enough, you know, all those sort of stories that go on. I would step into his identity and go, well, what would he be like? What would he feel? He'd feel really great about being himself.
Yeah.
You know, what would he think? He'd think, well, I don't care what anyone else thinks, I'm doing it anyway. You know, and how would he act? He'd just get it done, and bits he couldn't do, he'd get someone else to do for him.
Yeah.
So do that. And that's what I did.
Awesome. Look, next time I'm going to write a book, I'm going to start thinking, how would Vida write a book? You know, being the business authority that you are within empowerment, coaching and holistic coaching, I think I need to step into your shoes and think, feel and act just like how Vida does.
Yeah, and you'll still be thinking, feeling and acting at your highest potential. Yeah,
Really?
because you take away the resistances when it's you
Good.
step into another identity.
There you go. So
Thanks.
fascinating interview. Thank you, Vida.
Thank you,
For
Suzanne.
those watching, make sure you put your details below. You don't want to miss out on the steps to making optimal decisions and being in perfect alignment as well with yourself and the three brains. So make sure you put the details below. And Vida, thank you again for your time.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
We look forward to doing another one soon with you.
Great.
And
Awesome.
you keep watching and keep tuning into Nifnex TV.